Today we'll be learning about a different strategy for adding integers using a number line. When adding with a number line, we're looking at which directions we go. So when we're adding a negative, we will move to the left on our number line, and when we are adding a positive, you will move to the right. If we were to look at this first example, we are taking positive 3 and adding negative 4. So if we're adding a negative, that's our first column here. So we're going to move to the left. So your first step is to locate the first number on the number line. So our first number is positive 3. So I'm going to go to positive 3 and mark it with a dot. Then I need to look at the sign to tell me which direction. So I'm adding a negative, which means I'm moving to the left. So I'm going to give myself a little reminder that I'm going to the left. The second number tells you how many places to move. So if it's -4, I'm moving 4 places to the left. So I'm actually just going to make 4 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in your book they do arrows after each one. I just kind of put an arrow after the last one, so I know that is where I'm ending up. So this is my answer, -1. So positive 3 plus -4 is -1. So for our next example, we'll start by looking at our first number and locating it on the number line. My first number is -2, so I will put a dot at -2. My second step is to look at the sign for the second number. So I'm adding a positive, which means I'm going to move to the right. The second number tells me how many places I move. So I'm adding 4, which means 4 to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where I am ending up. So I am ending up at +2. So -2 plus +4 is +2. Question 2 asks you to write each addition from question 1 as a sequence of gains and losses to check your answer. The first question I solved was +3 plus -4 equals -1. So now I'm turning this into gains and losses. So remember, for gains and losses, we basically eliminate the brackets and the addition sign in the middle. So we just go +3 minus 4. So if I gain 3 and I lose 4, I have overall lost 1. Okay, that's my net loss. So yes, this question was correct. My second question that I did was -2 plus +4. And the answer I got was +2 with the number line. So now I'm eliminating the brackets and the addition sign. So if I lose 2 and I gain 4 more, I've gained back the 2 I've lost and 2 more on top, so I end up with +2. Those answers match. The bottom of this page has investigation questions. So before we get to question 3, we will have an investigation on whether adding integers in a different order affects the answer. They're going to ask me to draw a number line to add the integers in a different order. I'm going to use 2 colors to help me keep track of this. The 2 equations I'm going to compare, I'll do A for you or with you, is -3 plus -5 and -5 plus -3. So we're just switching the order of those. So I need to start by drawing a number line. I'm going to do my first equation in blue. So I start by finding the first number. My first number is -3. So I will locate that on my number line. And then I'm adding -5. So the -5 tells me that I am moving to the left 5 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I end up at -8. Now I'm going to switch to green and use my second equation. So I'm starting at -5. Here's my dot. And I'm adding -3. So adding a negative means I move to the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I do end up at the exact same place. Both of these questions, we get the answer -8. So Your job is to finish doing all of the other equations in part A. I also wanted to go through one example of what to do if they give you a long string of questions. So for example, positive 2 plus negative 3 plus positive 1 plus negative 4 plus positive 2. So we're basically just going to keep doing the same steps over and over again. So we'll start with our first number, which is positive 2, and then I'm going to move. So I might change up my color each time just to make it easier for you to follow, but negative 3 means I will move to the left 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So this is where I'm ending up the first time. Then I'm going to add positive 1. So I'm going to move 1 place to the right. So this is where I've started, and now I'm coming here. So I've ended up at 0. Then I'm adding negative 4. Negative means I move to the left. So I will start where my last color ended, and I'll move 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, I will add positive 2. So positive means I go to the right. So I start at my last arrow, 1, 2. So I end up with negative 2. So I know it's a little bit of a jumble, and you're going back and forth, but you just keep going one after the other. In your question, you will have to do this 2 times, right? Because you'll be given another set of equations that has all of these things reversed. So positive 2 plus negative 4 plus positive 1 plus negative 3 plus positive 2. Part B is going to ask you to look at your answers in Part A to see if adding the integers in a different order affects the answer. So if we looked at our first example here, we switched the order. Both times we ended up with the answer of negative 8. So you need to look at all of the questions and see, is it the case that every single time if you switch the order, do you still get the same answer? Question 3 is going to ask you to use a number line to continue the pattern. So we need to start by drawing a number line. So once you've drawn your number line, you're going to start by finding the points. So we started at positive 12, positive 8, positive 4, and 0. So to find the pattern, we need to see what it takes to get to each place. So we were going 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Then we go another 4, and we go another 4. So we're going to keep doing that. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So our next number is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our next number is negative 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Our final number is negative 12. Remember to fill out the Google form on the assignment, submit it, mark as done, and comment to ask for help if you're a little bit confused.